Hey, it's Friday night, 10 o'clock, and we've been hearing this from past 2 3 days that it started the pre-monsoon showers. It has been started at Western Ghats. I've been hearing this from my friends, family members saying that. So me and one more guy whom I'm constantly riding with, Rohit Saha from West Bengal. We thought we would go hit a tarmac, go to the regions where it is showering. I mean it's raining, and ride across those tarmacs, ride across those regions, and kind of look into the weathers of pre-monsoon. We don't have any sort of confirmed plans. All we know is tomorrow morning at around 4:30 we're gonna start from our places, and I'm gonna meet Rohit, the outskirts of Bangalore, which is Nelamangala, and from there we're gonna see where we are headed to. I'll meet you tomorrow morning. Bye. It's around 4:30 in the morning, and Rohit just called me asking where was I and everything. So he just started, it seems. Now I'm just tying my luggage, dropping my tank bag, and then I'll be starting. My gloves, straps. So I have a very less luggage this time. We started from Bangalore, so we're here. We are currently here in the outskirts of Bangalore. The plan is we ride till Tumkur, then we take a deviation and reach a city called Tarikere in Chikmagalur district, all the way in BH road, this road again, which is a national highway. The tarmac seems good, but the construction is going on here, so should be a decent ride here. Currently we are somewhere here. In another 30 kilometers we're going to take a deviation to the left and then ride all the way around 170 kilometers till we reach this point at Tarikere. Then we decide, should we head back into the district of Chikmagalur or should we go into the district of Shimoga.
Last year, during the same time, me and my two other riding buddies, Tarun and Rohit, took out our motorcycles and decided to explore the regions of Sakleshpur and Kurg. I had to agree for a fact that out of the numerous rides we had together, that was one of the most memorable fun ride we had. We were riding all over Madikeri and Sakleshpur in full rain. But for this time, we don't know where we are headed to. The only thing we know for the time being is we are riding for a place called Tarikere. Once we are in Tarikere, we're gonna decide, should we go towards Shivamogga or should we turn back and get into the district of Chikmagalur. The roads were butter smooth, but at some places, a small adventure awaited us. At 8 o'clock in the morning, we stopped at a small town called Arsikere to have some breakfast and then proceed our ride. While Rohit savored some hot puris, I had some soft, fluffy idlis. It's time for us to ride the next 100 kilometers without taking a single break. The task is to ride next 100 kilometers, stop at the city there, and then decide should we get into the district of Chikmagalur or proceed to the district of Shimoga. We then started riding towards Chikmagalur. The plan was to explore the regions of Sringeri, Kudremukh, and Kadasa. At a place called Narsimharajapura, we met my good old friend Nandan, who showed us one of the most scenic places at the backyard of the city. We were now riding towards backwaters of Bhadra reservoir. We were now chasing the curves along the mighty Bhadra river. Cutting through the heart of the Western Ghats, this river carves a path through untamed jungle. On one side, the steep hills, on the other side, Bhadra Wildlife Sanctuary. It's a home to tigers, leopards, and herds of elephants that move like shadows through the trees and forests. Every twist in the road feels alive. Out here, it's just us, the machines, and the raw pulse of the machine and the pulse of winds. We got our asses back on the motorcycle and then now headed towards the sacred town Sringeri. The plan is to have some good food over Sringeri and then straightly head towards Kudremukh. Within no time, we were riding in the forests of Kudremukh. We were twisting through the dense rainforests and sharp ridgelines. Every corner reveals a new surprise. Mist-covered valleys, waterfalls crashing through green walls, and the main peak shaped like a horse-faced mountain. Kudremukh isn't just a destination. It's a wild ride through nature's fortress. We were fully excited by now. We got what we were exactly searching for. Rain, hills, empty roads to ride, mist, fog. We found a very beautiful small waterfall on our way. अच्छा वाटरफॉल से आजा Not to forget, we also had some fun splashing the water that was on the bridge. Now we are on our way to look out for a place to stay and end our day.
Good morning. So what we did yesterday was stay at this small place called Bhadra. So today the plan is to take the same trains back to Kalsa, then head out to a place called Balehonnur, which is our breakfast point. Have a cup of tea or coffee somewhere in the mid. So we're gonna take the same tarmac, which is a good state highway that heads to Balehonnur. From Balehonnur, after breakfast, we're gonna head back to a small place called Khandya, which comes around here somewhere. Then we're gonna figure out if there is any road which can lead us to a small village near Chikmagalur city called Mallandur, which would come near here. We have to figure out if there is any small road that goes through the Bhadra forest, like somewhere like this. From Mallandur, then get back to the road of Hirekodale Lake, which comes here, and then again near Kaimara, get back to the state highway of Chikmagalur Tarikere. Probably around, by the time we get around here, it would be around 1 o'clock, I believe. Then around half an hour to 1 hour ride to reach Tarikere again back here, which is again this very good state highway. Then from here, we'll be having a lunch and then taking 1.5 hour route to Hiriyur, which comes here through this state highway, and then from here we're gonna get back to Bangalore, which is around 190 to 180 to 190 kilometers. So totally around the riding around 420 odd kilometers today. So the tarmac here is the only thing that I don't know. So it should be figured out. Quite interesting, quite unique. Also that goes through the Bhadra forest. Figure out how the day goes.
Today's plan is to head back home through the Bhadra Tiger Reserve. This was one such route we were waiting from a very long time to ride through and equally excited as well. But before that, we ride for some small time, stop at a small city called Balehonur, have some really good breakfast over a cafeteria there, and then start a ride with that. After a good breakfast at Balehanur, we went for a trail run across a good tarmac that ran through a Bhadra forest and finally ended at Chikmagalur. Deep in the western Ghats, where mist clings to the trees and silence roars louder than engines, lies the Bhadra Tiger Reserve, a kingdom of the wild. Riding through its fringe feels like crossing into sacred territory. This is tiger country. Elusive, majestic, and powerful tiger rules these lands. But it's not just tigers. The forest breathes with life. Leopards, gores, sloth bears, and over 300 species of birds, each corner teeming with the heartbeat you can feel beneath your wheels. As the sun filters through the canopy, the Bhadra glimmers like a secret. Calm on the surface, ancient and alive beneath. Local tribes speak of spirits in these woods and harmony in the wild. Here, nature doesn't whisper. It speaks in thunder, rustles, and calls that make your pulse race. That's all for the ride. Now it's the same old boring highways to get back home. That's it. We'll meet back in the next video, in the next ride.